Oh wait, you in here? Good morning. Are you having your morning cigarette, Joey? That's good. Baby, don't get in the snacks again. You had plenty this morning. Oh, awesome. Cool them. Yep. Yeah, I should. Yep. I'll probably be down to making my own later today because I'm down to my last bag 24/7. But I got tons of tobacco too. Yeah. Pretty good. I'll get off here around 9 when my home health care gets here. I'll probably get off here around 8:30. I forgot her name for some reason, morning lady. Susan, and there's, can't think of the other one. Just forgot it for some reason. I don't know. I was sitting here relaxing when he woke up coffee. Aww. Yeah, my morning orange juice and stuff. I had to order more. gut first. One morning coffee. What about kick? Speaking of which, you find that scene where Scuff was hauled off the loony bin yet? They didn't even suspend him for that. I know. I know. Did you find the clip yet where they hauled him off to the loony bin? Just him scuffling with the VA in the background and going off to the loony bin. He hasn't been up lately on the stream, has he? Since the other night, has he? Wow, he really is in the loony bin. Told you my Indian servants are good at it. You piss off a friend of an Indian, those Indians take good care of you. The Indian at the tobacco shop knows exactly what I want. My dad walks up to the counter and he hands them exactly what I need. Those Indians are prompt, man. They're cool people. My dad walks in the tobacco store, into the gas station, and told me the gas station owned by Indians, they hand them exactly what I want. They know exactly what I want. My dad walks in and hands it to them and rings it up. I don't know why people give them such a hard time. At least they come over here legally. American spirits, yeah. Those are a bit expensive. Yeah. Oh, once in a while I'll get like the little cigars. I used to buy those so I'd blow on money. A long time ago. The filtered ones, like the filtered ones. I used to smoke a shitload of those back in the day. I'd buy 2 or 3 cartons of them, and when they're like $9, $10 a carton, they still are about, they're cheap. I'd buy 2 or 3 cartons and smoke them. I do. I got some Grizzly long cut wintergreen pouches on me. It's just I had to quit chewing when I lived in Florida because chew is expensive in Florida. Like one can of Grizzly is like $6.99, and here is like 3 something. So I had to quit chewing in Florida. Like the cheapest can was like 4 something, 5 something, and then it was like $1, 2 something here. And like Copenhagen down there, like $9 a can, and it's like $6 a can. Yeah, it must have been on the shelf a long time. It should be moist at least. It should be moist. I sometimes get the big tubs of Stokers by money. I think I might go out shopping on my payday and get a big tub of Stokers. There's a grumpy old lady that runs a tobacco store down by on the south end of town. She's grumpy, but she's funny. She sits there and she just sits there with a scowl on her face, and she sits there with a scowl on her face all day. And she seems like she's been smoking her whole life because she sits there with a scowl on her face, and she seems like an old grizzly old witch. She's like an old witch, but her prices are fair, and I like her. She sits there with a scowl on her face like she's a grandma. Don't take shit from no one. She seems like an old southern. She seems like an old hillbilly grandma. That everybody has a shotgun behind the counter. She probably has a 12 gauge behind the counter in case someone tries holding her up. If I keep the gun behind the counter. She looks like one of those old grannies that keeps a big old dirty hairy gun behind the counter in case someone tries holding her up. I wouldn't be afraid to use it. They own the one tobacco store. But I prefer shop for the Indians here in town. They know exactly what I want. They just hand it to my dad. And they're cool. So I have fear of going outside and stuff due to social anxiety. I get paid on the 3rd. Something, about 1100. It don't go, it'll stretch long, but I think under Trump's economy it'll stretch longer. The groceries will go down and stuff. I think we'll see prices go down under Trump's economy. I don't have it loaded on my computer right now. I tire out easy now because of my physical disabilities. So I don't stream games that often. I get tired easily gaming now. My body's not that good a shape. No, and I wouldn't take those. Like I asked my doctor, I had joint pain, but it come to find out it's from my cholesterol medicine causing it. So I asked my doctor for, I forget what they're called, but to try to take me off my, didn't cause a joint pain. I didn't get, the ones, I forget what they're called, they're weaker. This is 25 milligrams of the weaker ones. But she tried to take me off my cholesterol medicine, I'm doing better. I'm trying to avoid pain medicine. I told her I'm trying to avoid pain medicine, so she took me off my cholesterol medicine, I'm hurting less. And she'll put me on something else probably. For my pain, for my... Nah, I have plenty of testosterone in me. What I'll probably do is just Lortabs. That's what I was gonna ask her for. 10 or 25 milligrams of Lortabs. But you want to take me off my cholesterol medicine first because it's been thiazolone known to cause joint pain. I didn't know if I had early stages of fibromyalgia or what, but it's been helping being off the cholesterol medicine. Today's my first day off. I still have joint pain, but muscle pain. But I'm gonna see how it goes. What, baby? Yeah, I stopped smoking. It has affected my mind, so I had to quit smoking it. I just haven't changed my name yet. Can't believe I forgot my morning nurse's name. Just slipped my mind. I have to ask her name again. Apologize, nurses. That's her name again. Just totally slipped my mind. I know. I know. I wouldn't say 80%, I'd say about 40%, because the majority of them are good people. I met a majority of them are good people that really supported me. Like a lot of them on Kick actually supported me and were protesting the ban and stuff. I got a lot of support from other streamers on Kick actually. I'd say it's about 40% because a lot of websites hold those people accountable. Like YouTubers, they'll hold those people accountable. The bigger YouTubers, like hold those people accountable, and so will a lot of people on other sites. Yeah, because a lot of the perverts that are looking for little kids are normally held accountable. Because even big YouTubers like you are held accountable. So I'd say when they're caught being a diddler, they're held accountable. Because sometimes there'll be a big YouTube streamer that'll hold them accountable. Because we have a lot of big YouTubers that hold them accountable, so yeah. So look what happened to Shane Dawson. He was too big. Look what happened to, what's his name? That real big guy that had a transgender guy. He got held accountable. You know what I mean? What was his name? The guy did all the big giveaways, and he was held accountable. Yeah, but wasn't that the autistic guy? I think he I mean that was still wrong what he did, but I think a lot of times when they're that bad autistic, they should take into account he wasn't right in the head. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't right in the head at all, and people probably trolled him into doing it. I think people encouraged him falsely into doing it because he wasn't right in the head and he was totally off in the head. I don't think he should have had to register or anything. They should have just given him a citation and told him not to do it again. They should have just scared him real bad and threatened him with a big time arrest if he ever did it again. Because he ain't right in the head. Now they got his life ruined and he didn't know. I mean, it's still wrong, but he didn't know no better. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, he was trying to, he would, I mean, I think he just wasn't right in the head, you know what I mean? And people aren't right in the head, they don't know no better. Ain't no excuse, but still, I think he should just be given a big time warning. They should have just scared him real bad and stuff like that. But ruining his life is like making him put a target on his head. It's just like, no. He wasn't right in the head. He was. I can tell by his videos why I've seen people post that he wasn't right in the head at all. He should have just been ordered to be supervised on the internet from there on. Like, had his internet supervised. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them, I think that's why a lot of it's entrapment. It should be done where they weed out the people that are true threats. A lot of those people that are mentally challenged would not do it. I think they would chicken out because they would start panicking the first time a little girl would show her booty. They'd start panicking, it's going to start spasming and start running. A lot of mentally challenged people wouldn't touch a kid. I think a lot of them would chicken out and just run off the first time they're offered booty. You know, because, you know, I remember, like, you know, first time I had a woman, I was nervous, you know. She was a couple years older than me. I got real nervous and stuff. And I was nervous and stuff. So I think a lot of them, if they were offered sex, genuinely would chicken out and run. Because they couldn't handle it. Yeah. Because a lot of them would chicken out. A lot of them are harmless, would chicken out, not know what to do, and wouldn't touch the kid. You know, they seem to have a big heart, and they wouldn't harm a kid. A lot of them are caught up, and they don't know what's, you know, and they wouldn't do it. I don't think they'd do it. I think they would, they'd have some type of switch in them where they would be chickened out because they're all for booty. Because you know how they are. I mean, they just chicken out. You know, they wouldn't do it. Like with you, I made it clear that you're not visiting me until you're 18. You know what I mean? I made it clear with you that not until May or June, please be your way after your 18th birthday. Yeah, like me and you, I made it perfectly clear that you're not coming visiting me until after your 18th birthday. You know what I mean? I made it perfectly clear, you know, that you're not, that I'm not gonna meet, that we're not gonna, yeah, that you're off limits to your 18th birthday, you know, and I wouldn't even be interested in you now. I mean, you just, I mean, plus at 18, I mean, if you were gay, I didn't know if I would date you because of maturity gap, you know what I mean? I might just be a good friend or something because of maturity gap. If you were that way, you know what I mean? So I prefer them like in their 20s where there's a somewhat of where they can legally drink, they go out and have cigarette and buy cigarettes and stuff. But you seem like a good guy that would come and hang out. I get cigarettes for you. We just hang out and smoke. And I want you to grow up to be a real man, you know. And but right now, I want to be more of a mentor. Yeah. I hate these. I hate these channels like JD Delay where he brags about stuffing shit in the mouth of mentally ill people who get caught up in these sting operations. He thinks it's funny. These anti-pedophile channels thinks it's funny when these mentally challenged people in prison and are in wheelchairs getting shit stuffed in their mouth, or getting their heads stomped in the toilet until their blood, as they drown their own blood. They think it's funny that mentally challenged people are laying in wheelchairs getting shit stuffed in their mouth. That's what bothers me about those channels. You know, they're so hardcore as, yeah. I like JD Delay, but he should know that mentally challenged people have no judgmental skills. And, you know, but I really like his content because he helps a lot of people get off drugs. He helps them get to their probation appointments and stuff like that. He's a rehab guy. He does stand up for the kids. So I really like JD Delay. In fact, I even bought his pedophile hunter hat, but I think my one lady took it because she liked it so much, Sabrina. Because it's a pedophile hunter hat that I bought off of him, and I really like JD Delay. Some of the things I said, you're always going to disagree with someone. I know. I think they should just be taken to jail, booked, and given a warning. You know, just given a warning or have some type of therapy given to them. They should be taken to jail, booked, and referred to some type of therapy. You know what I mean? When someone like that happens, a disabled person, they should take them to jail, book them, release them, and refer them to some type of therapy. Let them know they can't be doing that. That'd be my policy. They would refer them to some type of therapy or something, let them know they can't do that. And plus, they put them in jail, they don't get the medical care they need. Well, that's what I like about blue states, because blue states will take crippled people like that, and they'll book them into jail, but they'll say they keep them in jail, and something happens to them with their disability, they'll be held liable. But in red states, they'll keep them in there and they'll end up dying in jail due to their disability not being treated or physical disability. I know. I think Chris Hansen does it for money, not protecting the kids. He did it for money and ratings and not protecting the kids. The way he was so much into it, I think he was more into it for the money and ratings. He was, yeah. But I like JD Delay. He goes after the true monsters. I disagree with some of the things he says, but I like how he gets people on drugs, off drugs. He helps his people that actually go after the real pedophiles, and he congratulates them, like the Alaskan Avenger. I know. But the Alaskan Avenger, he was a good guy. He went after actual pedophiles, beat them with a hammer, and when JD Delay interviewed him, that was a really good interview. Or the guy that beat up the guy from Subway, he interviewed him. He's a really good guy. That really cares, but sometimes he says things I disagree with, and most of the time, JD Delay is right on spot. When people get out of prison, they have a heart and they live in this area, he gets them their probation appointments and everything. And he went from a full-time meth head and stealing cars to a full-time rehab counselor. And every time he found a syringe on the street, he called the police. He'd come pick it up so he wouldn't get arrested for picking up the syringe. And he'd always find syringes on the streets, call the police, and have them come pick them up off the ground and stuff like that. He helped people get off drugs, get off meth. He helped people stay in their probation appointments. He's a rehab therapist now. And he totally turned his life around. He used to be a full-time criminal, and now he's a real good guy, law-abiding citizen that's out to protect the kids, out to protect the community. J.D. DeLay really turned his life around. He's Irish like me. I really like his shows. And his politics are fair, too. His politics are fair, too. He says it how it is. I mean, J.D. DeLay, check him out on YouTube and TikTok. He says it how it is. J.D. DeLay, but there's this one guy called the Viking on there. He goes in too brutal of content. All he's focused on is predators. He don't go into other things. And he has an obsession with predators being stomped. And his stuff is really depressing. It's just depressing because he don't focus on other parts of prison life like rehab, or I might ask him to do a video about drug offenders getting rehabilitated. Tell him I'm tired of hearing about offenders being stomped. Can you tell me something about yeah, I know. Can you tell me a story about a drug offender that gets rehabilitated or something? I may order something with I got Applebee's gave us the menu, and I may order something from Applebee's with FlexBurger's money. I have a lady coming between 1 and 3. Yeah. You and your kids and your fried cheese sticks and stuff. I know, you guys, I mean, I just like people your age. You guys are so adorable. You guys are so adorable at your age. I just like sitting there watching kids your age play video games. That's what I used to do when I had an apartment in Jasper. Like, I used to watch them figure out how to open up a email account so they could all make their first YouTube back in 2007. And I used to set up my computers and watch them play on the computer, and now it's entertainment. I had a bunch of computers set up in my apartment. I'd invite kids up there, and they just get on the computer and play games or get on their MySpace, and I kick back, relax, have a Coca-Cola, and watch them, be entertained by them having a good time on the internet, because most of them were too poor to have internet, and I had real fast internet, so I just get on there and watch movies or whatever, and I'd have a good time kicking back, relaxing them, letting them watch them play on the internet. And like you, I'd have a good time just kicking back watching you play video games. That would be fun, you know, to watch you play video games. So I like watching people your age kick back and have fun. That's entertainment for me, because that's just entertainment. That's all I like to do. I like to watch people, young people, have fun. You know? And I like to open up like a place where young people can, like an organization where they get poor kids can get decent gaming computers or refurbished computers that play decent games, or they can play decent games and stuff. You get free internet connection. But they get the Xfinity Internet Essentials at least, and they get all their games, and I give them a decent gaming computer bill. Like for autistic kids, like start a big organization, they get a decent gaming computer, and they just then Comcast agreed to give them a little bit faster internet for free than the essentials. I worked out a deal with Comcast, or maybe they get 500 megs for free instead of 100 megs, so they can at least play games and do something like with Comcast. I do a contract for autistic children, and they get a free gaming computer. I started with HP, where they give them a free Omen if they are like if they're in a special condition. They get free HP Omen every couple of years, and if we find out gaming helps them with their disorder, they get a free gaming computer every couple of years. And if they have to do a series of things, like they have to rebuild, they have to go to their counseling. If they're going to counseling and all that, maybe we start a charity through HP or Dell, where they get a free gaming computer every couple of years, and then they get therapy, and they can use it to do something like that. See, yeah, I only have 3070. I'm poor, and I got mine brand new though. When 3070s were brand new 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. But your family's like, you know, up there in income. My family ain't. My grandparents used to be rich, but not anymore. They're on retirement and they're living off what they made their whole lives. Plus a little bit of Social Security. Yeah. See, my grandparents used to be wealthy like your grandparents, your parents. They had the same amount of money, but they really hold on to it. And I think they're holding on to it for inheritances and stuff, and helping us grandkids out when they can. And plus, they gave us our inheritance early by spoiling us rotten when they had a job. They used to give us a bunch of money when they had a job, but I think we got our inheritance early. But they used to give us some money all the time when we were there working. And I don't know, Grandpa always said when he retires he's going to set up a trust for me. And it's always a mystery, my grandpa. Like, he says he can't do nothing, then all of a sudden money will appear out of nowhere. My grandpa always surprises. I mean, it's something. My grandpa says he don't have enough money or something like that, then out of nowhere, a miracle happens. Same with my dad. He'll save up so much money, and like come up that $250 every 2 months for Christmas. Like my dad does that. He'll quietly say he don't have money, but the whole time he's saving up his money to do something big. That's the way but my grandparents on my mom's side, or that's my grandparents on my mom's side. No, he's poor, but he saves up his money and does big things for me. He saves up. My grandparents on my mom's side are kind of wealthy, but they don't show it. You know, they don't live in the house. They live in the same house since the 1960s and late 50s, early 60s, and they really put back money their whole life. They never lived it. Like they bought a new vehicle every 20 years, and Grandpa would buy a new service vehicle every 30 years, and they really put back their money for retirement. And I don't know if I'll get inheritance from them, but they didn't live it. My great grandfather was wealthy. There's a bunch of land around my apartment complex that's in contention that belonged to my grandpa's brother, and he passed away. My uncle and the family is contesting it. So I'm wondering if there's something, a glitch in Wayne's will that the family keeps contesting it, that my grandpa did it. Because the Wayne side of the family is contesting the will and all that, and it's up for grabs, and they're being bitter towards each other. That side of the family I never liked, because they never came around to help me, and Wayne would always give my grandpa fresh tomatoes and stuff to give to me. But that side of the family didn't really, you know. That my mom's side is kind of iffy on me. I think they don't understand mental illness. Grandpa comes from the old era, 1950s guy, World War II generation. They really don't understand mental illness. It's nothing bad on their side. They just don't understand mental illness. And like my aunt, she wasn't raised to understand mental illness. Neither were my cousins. You know what I mean? They weren't raised to understand some people are mentally ill. My dad goes by John or Dale. Yeah, and he's pretty cool. I mean, he does things for me. And sometimes he'd be grumpy. Sometimes he'd be grumpy if he's not taking his meds. Like, I mind him take his meds. He's been real cool. Like when he came and got me in the hospital, I got nervous. I couldn't think enough. I am. Like I was so grateful when he came and got me from the hospital the other night. Remember when I bought him 2 fillet of fish the other day to thank him for coming to get me at the hospital when I had a panic attack? The other day when I had a mukbang, I bought him 2 fillet of fish. I was showing him how grateful I was. They came and got me when I was having a panic attack, and I bought him 2 fillet of fish. Oh, flex for his money. Like the very next day, I bought him 2 fillet of fish sandwiches. Yeah, I was so grateful he came and got me out of there. Oh, I wouldn't know what I'd do if I'd had to stay there. I had a full-on panic attack, so I was so grateful I got him 2 good sandwiches, 2 of his favorite sandwiches. But if the hell's our sins money, what I'll do is probably order some steaks some filet mignon steaks from Walmart and have them cook them up. Yeah, but watch out, it's fattening. If you want to remain skinny, trust me, if you want a good woman, stay skinny. Don't get fat. You want a good woman in your life, or whatever way you lean. Wherever you lean, as long as you're 17, I don't want to know which way you lean. I don't want to know which way you lean or which way you will swing until you're 18. That's your private business till you turn 18. But if you want a girl or guy, I'm not going to judge you. And you just remember that, I'm not going to judge you. Yeah, and whatever way you do lean, I wouldn't judge you. Straight, gay, so if you're just hiding afraid people judge you, hey, I don't want to know until you're 18, but whatever way you lean or buy, whatever, I don't care. It's all inclusive in this environment here. And whatever way you lean is, you're going to get my full support. You're going to get my full support to live a happy life. But I do sense you're somewhat bi, but when I was 17, I was kind of in denial because, when you're young, you don't know. You don't know because your hormones, you know what I mean? Your hormones are constantly changing, and 17's too young to say what preference you have. 17's too young, I think, to say what preference one has. Because your hormones are changing every day and stuff, and your hormones are out of whack, and that's why I say don't confirm someone's preference till at least they're in their mid-20s. Because until you're in your mid-20s, your hormones are out of whack. One day you feel one way, and one day you feel another, and it's just your hormones. It's your hormones, it's your biological makeup. That's why kids that are mentally ill at your age are hard to put on medication, because their chemicals in their body are always changing. So right now, I wouldn't say you have any preference. It's just swings every day because it's just natural in your body. Your hormones are changing. I mean, your hormones are so imbalanced at your age that I think saying a 17-year-old this or that is not right, because your hormones are changing. That's why I don't like the LGBTQ community really saying that, well, once you're 17, no, you don't know until your mid-20s. I didn't know for sure till I was in my mid-20s. I was very confused at your age. Because my hormones were out of whack. And still, you know. And that's why to say, you know, don't judge yourself until your mid-20s. When your hormones get balanced and you're balanced out hormonally. Because your body's still developing. Yeah, and plus, they couldn't find the right medications for me too. Because back then it's hard to find medications. And it's a whole mess and stuff. And, yeah, it was real hard for me. And I didn't have a teenage years. That's probably why I hang out with teenagers a lot still. Because it's not that I'm a weirdo. It's because I didn't have teenage years. That's why I hang out with teenagers a lot. Because I'm still trying to have my teenage years. That it was late 90s, early 2000s. And the reason I hang out with teenagers is not because I'm a weirdo. It's because I never had teenage years. My teenage years, I had to grow up and fend for myself, so I still hang out with teenagers, not because I'm a weirdo, it's because I never had teenage years, never got to enjoy my teenage years, and that was stolen from me, and I was permanently put in my teenage years. Plus, I have a brain condition where my maturity level's stuck as a teenager. See, they found something wrong with my right frontal lobe, where I hit a brick wall of maturity, so I hit like a brick wall of maturity at age 15. So I quit maturing at 15. That's why I still use Fortnite blankets and stuff like that, because my brain quit maturing at age 15, they said. And I quit maturing in personality at age 15. Due to a brain imbalance. It's like they said I'd hit a brick wall of maturity around age 15 or 16. So I have a mind of a 15-year-old. So that's probably why I hang out with kids your age, not because I'm a weirdo, because I hit a maturity wall at age 15. It's something to do with my brain. My brain had dysfunction to it, and I quit maturing. And that's why I still have a lot of Fortnite blankets. I play a lot of Fortnite, stuff like that. I quit maturing at age 15. Yeah, I know, but a lot of people misjudge me, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that I quit maturing at age 14 or 15, you know what I mean? People tend to judge before they think, you know what I mean? And they don't know my disorder, my brain, that I quit maturing at a certain age, you know what I mean? And I just quit maturing. I couldn't help, that's why I use a lot of Fortnite blankets and stuff like that. Because I quit maturing around age 15. Yeah, I know, but I know people read me wrong. People that don't know understand. There's a lot of people that don't understand disabilities out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that just don't understand, and I can get it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that just don't understand psychology and stuff. And they have misconception of me. You know what I mean? And it's a fair balance. Not everyone doesn't. Not all people understand. I know. But my family don't understand because they're not. They were from the old generation. You know what I mean? And they're all normal, went to college, and like my cousins abandoned me. Everybody abandoned me. And my aunt even. She's my godmother. And when my apartment was messy after my heart attack, she wouldn't give me my birthday money and stuff like that. And grandma and grandpa are old and they get scared easily when I have my outbursts. Plus, they are from the old generation that didn't understand mental illness. They're from that 1950s generation where they didn't understand mental illness. So my grandpa taught me some, but he gets overwhelmed, you know what I mean, easily. He's 80 some years old and he gets overwhelmed easily. You know, he's 86 years old, he'll be 86 this year. He's 85, 86 years old. He gets overwhelmed easily and scared easily because he's old. Plus, he comes from that generation where they didn't understand mental illness. My grandma, she's getting nicer. She's getting nicer. Like when I was having problems, my dad helped me. She referred me to a few areas. I'm trying to make amends with her. Me and her are getting closer. I haven't canceled my mom out. The Bible says, honor thy mother, thy father. I love my mom very much. And if something were to happen to my dad, I'd move right back to Southern Indiana and be right near my mom. In a second. If something happened to my dad, I would be right down in Southern Indiana near my mom, taking care of her. Or if my mom got really sick or was dying, I'd be down there with her in her last days. I'd pack up, leave, and be right down there with her. If my mom was deathly ill, her Parkinson's were getting to her real bad, I would be right down there, moving down there, and be right with her. Because I still love her very much. I still send her stuff by Amazon once in a while, like little chocolates, fudge. I send her gifts through Amazon. I love her very much. Me and her used to be best friends. It's just that when they put her on pain medication, it altered her mind. She got around some bad example. Yeah, she's want to let me start smoking. She's a really cool lady. She's very knowledgeable. She's very smart. Problem is she's just old fashioned, and she just but she loves me. I know my mom loves me. She loves me. She just has a different way of showing it. So I'm trying my best. I mean, I'm trying to get that point where we're best friends again. Because family is all we got, and family comes first. And she's my mother. I love her, and I do send her stuff through Amazon once in a while. I have extra money and stuff like that. You know, little snacks or whatever and stuff. And I love her very much. It's just sometimes she frustrates me, but. And she did apologize for putting me on those psych wards and everything I went through. She said had she known how bad it was, she would pull me out of those places. And she almost started crying when she heard how bad it was for me. And she started crying and apologizing. She said had she known how bad it was I was going through, she would pull me out of there immediately. But as a kid, you're easily intimidated, and they intimidate you when they're abusing you in those places. They intimidate you. That's the problem. Those predators that worked there, they intimidated me. And said they'd kill my parents and stuff like that. And, yeah. And they did a lot of bad things to me, made me do a lot of bad things to our kids, and they videotape it and stuff, and they made me be they did a lot of bad things. So that's why I don't go into it with you, because you're only 17. So I'm not going to go into what I went through because you're only 17. Maybe in April I'll go in more detail, but right now you're just too young to hear about what I went through. I mean, yeah. You just don't need to hear those things when you're a kid. You need to hear good, happy things. I had a happy life. There were some people who worked for the state that really took good care of us. I mean, the state of Indiana was practically my parents. That's why I'm loyal to my state. Because there were a lot of good people who worked those psych wards. They did a lot for us. And the state of Indiana was practically my parents. So That's why I consider myself a resident of Indiana before the United States. I'm kind of like a pre-Civil War person, where I consider myself a resident of my state before my country, because the state of Indiana did take good care of me for the most part. They paid all my medical. They take good care of me, so I'm loyal to my state. But when I moved to Florida, I was loyal to the state of Florida. In fact, I called the mayor's office down in Tampa, and she was Democrat. I told her assistant, she's Democrat and I'm Republican. If she ever needs any help around her office or any advice, feel free to call me. I called Mayor Castor's office down there. I got involved politically. I called the political offices down there, offered them advice in the state of Florida. And I told them I thought I'd be down there for a long time, so I started getting politically active. Even though our county was Democrat, I still called it around the offices, asked them, told them I'm willing to work with them. I wanted to get a job eventually working for a government aid, work for the state government in Florida, or local government, doing something like working a couple hours a week in a government, like the mayor's office, something. I was Republican, to get some mixture in there and work with the Democrats. I told me, I didn't know you guys are more liberal. I want to work with you. I want to work across the aisle and get Hillsborough County going, because we have a lot of Republicans here, and I want to work across the aisle to get Hillsborough County going. To get more cooperative. And get the Democrats and Republicans together and make the county function. So I was trying to get active in the community and stuff like that down there. I called the mayor every time something came up and get suggestions and stuff like that. I called the governor's office and thanked them for not locking down the state and stuff like that. And I called the Attorney General's office and offered them advice how to run the state of Florida and stuff like that. Because I was loyal to the state of Florida. I was going to get me a Florida state flag to hang in my room when I was living in Florida. So I was loyal to the state of Florida when I lived there. So I was going to get a state of Florida flag to hang in my room. I should get me a state of Indiana flag to hang up in my room here, since I live in Indiana, and get an Indiana state flag, fly alongside the American flag, and hang it here in the room. I might get an Indiana state flag and fly alongside the American flag, and have it hang in my house. But for a while, we were only allowed to fly the Florida state flag and the American flag in our HOA. And that's it. The Florida state flag or the American flag. But anyway, and Dad had some Freedom Riders Indiana flags. They gave him a hard time about it, because he had Freedom Riders Indiana flags in the garage, and the HOA gave him a hard time about it. And then he just hung up the American flag. But I want to hang up the Indiana state flag and yeah, I do. But don't tread me on me. Flag's back in my back bedroom. It's back in my back bedroom. Flying my all. I think in here I have the Irish flag. On that wall there, I'm gonna put the Indiana state flag and the American flag. On one of the walls over here. Yeah. I keep on forgetting the morning nurse's name. I keep on forgetting her name. Morning lady comes in here. I'll apologize for and ask her name again. Started to slip my mind this morning. My mind was blank, and I remember Grandma Susan's name because it was on Grandma Susan. I can't remember her name. I just had to ask her name again. Started this. My mind was blank this morning. Some mornings my mind goes blank and I forget names, things I should know, and I forgot my home morning healthcare nursing. Yeah, I might get that, and but somewhere I want the Indiana state flag. You know what I mean? Somewhere I want the Indiana state flag. 'Cause again, I'm more loyal to my state than I am my country. So I already told the governor's office if succession's already brought up, I would go with whatever decision the state of Indiana made. Whether to stay with the Union, then I would fight for the U.S. United States. If they joined some sort of confederacy, I'd fight for the Confederacy. So I'm more loyal to my state than I am my country. And that's a lot of people around the time before the Civil War. They were more loyal to their state. There used to be a time when you were more of a citizen of your state than you were your country. I'm kind of like that because even though I was abused a lot in those flag wars, there was a lot more good people than there were bad people working for the state of Indiana. People actually cared. I mean, those people that abused us. This what they did was so horrendous out and kind of overstood it, but there's a lot of good people working for the state of Indiana who really cared. And they practically were my parents. You know, the state of Indiana was practically my parents. So, they paid all my bills. They paid my medical. They made sure I had my food. So you can see why I'd be loyal to the state of Indiana because they always made sure my medical was taken care of. I had plenty of food on my table. They tried their best to see when they did have advocates that got involved when I was mistreated. They allowed an independent advocacy group to get involved. Independent counsel get involved, so they tried their best. Back then they couldn't vet, they didn't have background checks on the staff. It's not like they get on a computer back then and do immediate background checks. It sometimes took months, and by then they already had a staff on the floor that was bad. They just couldn't go on there and see if they're on any type of registries or any type of employment history. They just had to take their word for it and take the other employer's word for it. They couldn't get on a computer, check criminal history. It took months. And they really needed staff quickly, and they couldn't just get on a computer back then. That's why they had a lot of bad staff, because they couldn't just get on a computer back then and just check up for prior arrests and stuff. It took months. That's why I didn't get to meet Ronald Reagan when he came to Huntington here in 1988, because they had to get a background check on my dad to make sure he wasn't a threat, and that took like 3 or 4 weeks. They had to send it all by paper. Because Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and Dan Quayle wanted to invite us up to the courthouse to meet Ronald Reagan. And I almost got to meet Ronald Reagan when I was like 5 years old, but my dad had to go through a lot of background checks to be with me, and it took weeks, not months, and they were going to bypass me because I was just a kid. But my dad had a press pass, and they were going to let him in, but they had to do a background check, and that took months, so that we weren't allowed in. But I was getting ready, they were going to invite me up to meet Ronald Reagan and stuff. So I almost got to meet Ronald Reagan when I was a kid. They were going to bring us up there, and I was going to have lunch with Ronald Reagan, and get to have lunch with the president. And back then, Ronald Reagan was still president. I was going to go up there and have lunch with President Ronald Reagan and stuff. That would have been a real honor, you know what I mean? And I was going to go up there and get to have lunch with them. Everybody was up there to have lunch, them and George H.W. Bush, and but still, when George H.W. Bush was in office, Barbara Bush used to write me and my brother letters on our birthday and Christmas. And they'd send in Dan Quayle, the vice president, send us presidential pens. And we had a lot of access to the White House because we were friends with their family. Dan was the vice president's family. So we had a lot of, that's a good year for me. I think the best years of my life was when George H.W. Bush was in office because I had access to the White House. You know what I mean? Anything we need. My mom, like when Dan Quayle's sister was going to White House balls, Mom had to go to the fancy stores, help her pick out dresses for White House balls, and my mom was involved helping getting her best friend involved, ready to go to White House parties and stuff. My mom helped her shop for dresses and stuff. So my mom did have to help my neighbor, which I won't say her name because, again, it's privacy. It's still security because Dan Quayle still has a high clearance job. He works for the VA, high up in the VA. So I'm not going to give out any private information about his family. He's still a high government official. He just works in the background. So again, I can't get out any details, his family names, how he was transported, They probably still use that for protocol for the president. So I can't give out how he was transported back and forth. What's to say they have different ways of transporting presidents to vice presidents? And I can't give different code names. I can't give that out because it's probably still classified. And they probably still use it. This is 35 years later. But there's a lot of ways they transport the president, vice president, the airport, and all that I can't reveal. But I know all that stuff because of being involved with vice president back in the late 80s. But there's a lot of stuff I can't say because of if I still use those protocols at times. Yeah, I remember saying the Vatican's in driving it. No, Nixon was in the 70s. It was Carter was came in, and Reagan came in 80, and he was elected again in 84, and H.W. Bush was elected in 88, and then that's George Bush. That's George W. Bush's dad. Recent Bush's dad was also president in 88, and then Bill Clinton came in and did 2 terms. Then George Bush Jr. came in 2000. Clinton served from 92 till 2000, and then 2001 when George W. Bush, which is George H.W. Bush's son, was inaugurated. But for a while, George W. Bush was governor of Texas. During the Clinton era, George W. Bush was governor of Texas. He went from governor of Texas to president in 2000. He served 2000, 2009 when he was inaugurated in 2001, got out of office in 2009 when Obama was brought in 2 terms. Nixon was actually a pretty good president. He was figuring things out. He figured too much stuff out. Let's say the CIA did that whole Watergate scandal to get him out of office. He was, yeah, Arnold was, and so was, actually Ronald Reagan also was the governor of California. Ronald Reagan was also governor of California at one time. Did you know that? He was governor of California at one time. When Carter was in office, Ronald Reagan was governor of California. Yeah. So Arnold, towards the age, you know Ronald Reagan used to be an actor? He was known as an actor back in the 1950s. He was an actor, Ronald Reagan was. My grandma had an old videotape called In the Army with Ronald Reagan. It was an old Ronald Reagan movie. He used to be an actor. Ronald Reagan used to be. Back in the day, he was an old actor. Back in the 50s, he was an actor. Yeah. So Ronald Reagan, so Arnold wasn't the first actor to be governor of California. I think the reason they had Ronald Reagan shot back in '84, why Hinckley got off so lightly, why he's out of jail, so I believe H.W. Bush wanted him shot, get out of the way, because he was working for the American people, and they let him survive as a warning. Because he really backed off from working for the American people after he was shot, so I think it was a warning to him to step down because he was really fighting for the American people. Like when the air traffic controllers were on strike in '82, he fired them all and stuff, and he got new people in, and he had a military takeover. Air traffic controller went to air traffic control, and finally when they come with a deal, he took executive action and fired everyone that was on strike. And my dad almost became air traffic controller then. He could have made good money. My dad almost went air traffic control because they were hiring after Ronald Reagan fired everyone. They were doing mass hiring. My dad almost went air traffic control. He would have made good money. It's a high pressure job, but he would have made good money. He worked at Fort Wayne being air traffic control. My dad almost went into it after Ronald Reagan fired everybody. That was on strike. He came and said, "Hey, we can't have all these flights canceled. If you're going to do this, you're all fired." And he signed an executive order firing all air traffic control workers that were on strike. Because we had a lot of military having to take time to do it. We had to bring the military to do air traffic control. Because back in '82, they had a big air traffic control strike. And it's disrupting flights around the country, so Ronald Reagan had to call in the military to do air traffic control, and he had to have all the military distracted. So he finally signed that order firing all air traffic control that was on strike, fired him. He was in charge of all that. He was part of the he came in and just fired them all, and that's a federal agency, air traffic control is, and then he fired them all, and then they were hiring a lot of people, and Dad almost went air traffic control. And he was a good president. It's just that I didn't like the way he treated AIDS patients. He wouldn't get funding in for them. And that's one thing about Ronald Reagan I don't like. He wouldn't help people with AIDS. He was blocking funding, and all that he was blocking medications from coming in, and George H.W. Bush. Well, it also is a common prejudice at the time. Gay people were not seen as victims back then like they are now. You know what I mean? This was the early mid-'80s. Gay people were not looked fondly upon. You know what I mean? So really, as long as it affected the gay community, people didn't care until they found out it's also transmitted through blood transfusions and started affecting children and normal people. Then that's when people started caring. And when Rock Hudson got AIDS and died, then Hollywood got involved with fundraisers for AIDS. Rock Hudson was the first major known actor who died. He died in 1985 of AIDS. And when he died of AIDS in '85, Hollywood got involved. And they did big fundraisers out in Hollywood for AIDS research when Rock Hudson died. Then Liberace died in '87, but that ruined his music career. Then people found out he was gay, and back then he had to stay closeted back then. And his whole foundation collapsed and everything. It's all because a guy out of Palm Springs, California, the coroner won 15 minutes of fame, just announced that Liberace died of HIV/AIDS. There's all that asshole out in Palm Springs, California, that won his 15 minutes of fame just to announce his true cause of death. They were going to just rule it as anemia from eating too much watermelon, come up with a fake cause of death, and his whole foundation collapsed. He was going to teach a lot of kids to go to school and play music. He had a good museum of all his stuff he donated, and he had all stuff where his entire estate was he did. But Liberace was a talented piano player. I like Liberace because he lived a closeted life. I mean, he liked younger guys, like about year 18, 19, 20, but he treated them well. And plus, he had big Christmas parties where he invited a lot of people. He kept whole warehouses full of Christmas. Christmas was his favorite time of year. He was on Oprah, back when Oprah was actually more seen as a queen of TV. He did wonderful interviews. I mean, Liberace was a sweetheart. He used to spoil all of his friends. He used to have them call Lee. And if you were Lee, if you were able to call Liberace Lee at Christmas, you were going to be spoiled. Back in 1963, he had a problem going on with his garments. The dry cleaners put a chemical in his actually had a cleaning chemical affected his kidneys shut down. But he survived, and they thought he was going to die. So he used all available cash to throw a huge Christmas party. He had a big collection of meat chauffeurs, and that's why I learned to live extravagant was from Liberace. I never lived extravagantly, and that's why I like living extravagant because I studied Liberace, and I like living extravagantly as much as I can because I learned that you only live once, and you live extravagantly as you can. And I kind of learned that from Liberace. You know, you have the nicest things, you party, you take you just live a nice life, kind of spoil yourself, and stuff like that. And that's all I liked about Liberace. And I learned a lot of my life lessons about living as nice of a life you can until you go, you know. And I mean, he lived right at the very end, living an extravagant life, and he spent his money. He also saved a bunch back for his foundation, and right before he died, he took his entire family out of the will and was going to donate to a bunch of kids that were going to come up and sing and do music in Liberace Foundation. But that quickly went bankrupt, and people found out he died of AIDS and was gay. Because back then, that was frowned upon, to die of AIDS. And so his foundation quickly went bankrupt without funding and stuff. Which, if that guy had not had his 15 minutes of fame, the coroner, and had disclosed his private information, I really wish they would have had that one that you can't disclose people's personal information back then. Because right now, the Liberace Foundation would have been putting a lot of music prodigies to school and stuff. But that ruined the Liberace Foundation. They had a great museum, awesome museum in Las Vegas. And his house is all decrepit, falling apart now. No one wanted to buy his house. And if I had a bunch of money, what I would do is go up and buy Liberace's house all falling apart and restore it, put the piano, pull back together. If I won $1 billion, I'd go out there and buy the Liberace property and fix it up just like he had it in the 70s. I'd fix it totally up and just have it out there and let people take tours of it. I'd have it exactly like it. Even if I had to buy copycats of what if I bought copycats of the pianos he had in there, I'd have it made exact detail the type of pianos and decorations he had in there, and I'll tours of the old house. I'd have it set up exactly like he did, and I'd revive his house, what exactly it was on tours. Or I'd just go out to Las Vegas and stay in the house and have the piano on, cool. I'd have the bedroom, I'd have put the big painting, the Liberace back up. I'd spend all that money at the house I've been set decrepit all those years. I would spend hundreds, tens of millions of dollars to fix the house up to be exactly the way it was when Liberace was alive. That'd be my first thing to do if I won billions of dollars would be go out there and buy that property up, or take that property and fix it up exactly like it, buy all his old properties up, and make good deals on them, and buy them up and fix exactly like he had them. That guy was an inspiration for me. The guy was an inspiration. You know, keep your private life private, and just perform, be good, and have a thing about public image, and keep your personal life private. And that's what I like about Liberace. He kept his personal life private, and he's all about image. And he was all about keeping the proper public image and stuff like that. And just was a really balanced guy. But he did like to party when he wasn't playing. He lived a real private life when he was playing. He wasn't playing. He lived a real private life. When he was out playing in Las Vegas, he's at his own party. He had a lot of young men in their 20s out there. They were his lovers. He took good care of them, put them fine jewelry. He invited a bunch of hillbillies out there, poor hillbillies out swimming in his pool and stuff like that. But no one knew. In fact, he kept it a rumor that he was going to marry a ballerina. He kept the rumor for years that he was going to marry this woman. And he was getting ready to marry this woman. That was the whole rumor that kept people dying to see if he was going to marry this woman. And he kept people in steps thinking he was going to marry this one dancer, female dancer. She's a ballerina or something. He kept this public image where people thought he was going to marry this female ballerina dancer or something. So he kept his public image to a point where, people didn't have to know what he was up to in his real life. You know what I mean? He just kept it up to an image. He kept an image where he didn't prance around, which I like. But yeah, he's one of my heroes, LeBron. Yeah, I miss him. Yeah, his name was Eddie Mercury, the guy, the lead singer from Queen, Eddie Mercury or something like that. Now I thought of his name. But again, I'm still an AIDS activist. I had friends that have it, and that friends I don't talk to anymore. And plus, I had one friend or two already died from it. So yeah, I'm kind of an activist in AIDS research still. But I believe it's been sidelined too much. You don't warn your generation about it too much. It really takes me off. There's still a lot of youth catching it, and they're not really making a big deal about it, and they're not doing enough education about it. It seems like they abandoned warning the youth about the danger of HIV/AIDS. They abandoned it when other diseases came along, and that really ticks me off, but there's still a lot of people catching it. And especially amongst the youth, because the youth like to party, and they are not warned properly. It's like as soon as they came out with the medications, they can maintain people on. They put warning about it. They want people to see. They didn't want people to catch it. So they can put them on the medications, keep them alive, and spend the money instead of education about safety and being aware of your surroundings and stuff. Not sharing a needle and stuff like that and stuff. They really quit doing the education they really needed to do. And that's what frustrates me, is it's still a killer. I had a best friend that died from it. In fact, I was going to make a piece for the National AIDS Quilt Forum, but I don't know, the guy that leads that AIDS quilt is kind of a left-wing nutbag. He's even still alive. He had AIDS. He's even still alive. I forget his name, but yeah, he was kind of a far left nutbag that worked with Harvey Milk, and Harvey Milk was kind of a weirdo, and so, oh, she was a friend. She used to be, I don't know, she's a left-wing activist. She's a real left-winger, and I just tolerate her, you know what I mean? I try to get along, I try to get along with her, just get along, go across the aisle, and get along with the left winger, and I just couldn't take it anymore. Just because I was talking to you, she became offended. She tried to cause a problem just because I was talking to you. Just because I was talking to you, she started talking to cause a problem. It's not like you're 12 or nothing. It's like you're practically 18, and I mean, I'll talk to everybody. It's just like you're just another fan I talked to, and she got all causing problems about it. I mean, if someone's a fan, I'll talk to them. Right. Well, what's her name? My nurse is gonna be here soon. I better get off here, and so I can't have the stream up. I don't know if she's gonna be here at 8 or 9. I forget what time she comes. So I'll get off here after I'm done with this cigarette. Give me a break, and she's here at 8 or 9. My home health care. I forget her name. You don't forget. I forgot her name along with me. Yeah, I'm banned from Kick. I'm here on YouTube now, and you know, Kick. I don't miss it. I'm at the point where I'm over Kick and stuff. I'm over it. Fine with me. If they don't want me on there, fine with me. Oh, the trolls got to me. The trolls would get reactions out of me, clip it, and send it to Kick. It's over with. Kick don't want nothing to do with me. It's their loss. I put in a lot of hours. I worked myself to a heart attack streaming. And they don't want my talent. It's their business. It's their website. It's their website. They don't want me on there. It's their business. I can't force Kick to allow me on it. It's their website. They don't want me on there. It's their business. You know what I mean? It's their business. It's their website. That's all I have to say. It's their website. And if they don't want me on there, there's nothing I can do about it. Now, Grandma Susan's coming this afternoon, so I won't be on until about 3 or 4, Joey. Because Grandma Susan's coming in the afternoon, so I won't be on until the afternoon. So I'm going to get off here because the one lady's coming. I forget her name. My mind just slipped. Alright. God bless you. Have a good day. Maybe get some sleep if you need some. See ya.